Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon. And we had just been rescued by Karma because, we went out on our own because we're stupid. But, plot convenience. Anyway, we went out because, okay, it's not because she's stupid. It's really more she's like headstrong and like, I'm going to do what I want. I do what I want. So, and now she's just remembering back. Ooh. Anyway. Hold on. My guide is ready. Okay. Yeah, she was remembering. He's like, you really are a handful. But a delightful handful. His words keep repeating in my head. I can't stop hearing his voice and feeling his lips on my hand. My face feels warm, and every time I think about his words, my heartbeat feels unsteady. I really have to stop thinking about that. Karma's karma, and he puts on that overly polite act with everyone. But then, I'm pretty sure I've never seen him do something like that with another person. I'll just go downstairs and stop thinking about all of this. I need to tell Parfait and Delora what happened. Because of the time I'd returned to the Martian yesterday, I never spoke to anyone about what happened. Maybe someone's downstairs. Someone usually is. I leave my room and make my way downstairs to the reception. It's quiet when I enter, but not as silent as I thought it would be. Karma's sitting at one of the tables speaking quietly with Parfait and Delora. His injured hand is sitting on the table, bandaged. I can't help but stare at it, my heart plummeting. His injury is my fault. Oh, he's dressed like boy Karma. So you have yet to hear the entire story. No, I'm afraid I'm not quite privy to the information Waltz has. Is that correct?
Waltz has been directly involved in this far longer than you have.
What about Waltz? Princess, you're up early. They all turn to look at me as I stand at the table. Karma still looks tired and is not in his dress. He looks somber, but still smiles at me. Spacey, how nice of you to join us. When did he start saying my name without my title? Spacey, you've run into a lot of different mishaps this week, haven't you? I thought you'd be stubbornly avoiding work. Instead, you go out of your way to get yourself into trouble. This involves me directly. How would I not be curious? You've also been irresponsible, sneaking out without any of us knowing. I have the freedom to do whatever I want to. I even wore a cloak to... Oh no! Cloak! I left it at the bar. I feel a nudge on my arm and Karma is holding out my cloak with a tired smile. You went back to get this? When? Yesterday, when you were still in bed.
You've been running yourself dry these last few days, Karma.
It's nothing. Thank you. What's this? Our ice princess is thanking someone? Why is that something so strange? Oh, come now. She's not so icy. Spacey is more fire than anything. She's filled with an unbridled passion and confidence. And bitchiness, but, confidence. Sure, that's what it is. Confidence that's gotten me nowhere so far. Don't look so dour, Spacey. You've become quite the accomplished woman. Karma gestures toward me and I flush, unsure of what he's talking about. Then I notice Delora's eyes are on me, too. Oh! Parfait, do you see that? What are they looking at? I reach down to grab my necklace and then pause. I can't stop the gasp that leaves my lips. When did we get a fucking piece? When did this happen? Right? Princess, you didn't realize that there was an extra piece to your necklace.
Congratulations, Princess Spacey! You're a step closer to breaking your curse!
It was probably from helping... Karma, if you think about it. We didn't do it for us, we did it for him, But I thought she looked at it and saw there was nothing. I don't know. I feel proud. I only ever felt this way around Mother. She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Spacey, I might have suffocated beneath a pile of very excited women. Wait, helping Karma escape was a good deed? She was selfless. He's not even mentioning the injury he got protecting me. Parfait and Delora are both smiling, but the cheerful mood doesn't last long. What were you talking about before I came down? About your kidnapping? Well, kidnappings. Both of them. It looks like we have a serious problem on our hands. What do you know about this? What does Waltz know that I don't? Princess, it's more about what everyone knows that you don't. What everyone else knows? I feel anger beginning to simmer inside of me. Even though he looks apologetic, he says it so casually. What are you hiding from me? Let's gather everyone later, shall we? I think Waltz might want to be here for this too. What does Waltz have to do with any of it? Be patient, Princess. You've already waited this long. What's another few hours? I have no choice but to agree when Parfait and Delora refuse to say any more, but I'm not happy about it. I spend the rest of my time doing idle chores around the tavern. I do a round of sweeping with Mr. Broom and mindlessly organize some of the bottles. Can't believe everyone knows something about me that I don't. But now, I'll find out the entire story. Maybe it'll answer some of the questions I have. But why are they keeping things about me a secret to begin with? Delora gathers everyone in the tavern to discuss the kidnappings. I decide to sit between Waltz and Karma.
So we have a story to tell.
Story time, huh? I don't suppose this would be a romance, would it? I didn't quite do Rumble. I'm sorry. How can you stand to make comments like that constantly? How can you stand to live a lie? The two glare at each other across the table, but Dolores silences them. Dolores starts with a story about the Great War, one that I've already heard so many times I can recite it myself. What does any of this have to do with me? Because of the fairy tales, witches like myself were punished for simply existing. Our leader, the Tenebrarum Bearer, was a kind witch that was overtaken by the grief that our people suffered. She was driven so far into madness that she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. Oops! Sorry, I accidentally minimized my screen and now my thing is gone. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what happened. It's weird. My screen minimized by accident. I accidentally smacked a key and screen minimized, and then my little recording software thing was gone and I needed to see it. And then when I came back and then I don't know if it's gonna happen again, but all of a sudden there was a black box over here and I don't know what was going on, so I had to reclose the game. So I know we think we already read this, but we're gonna read this part again anyway. She was driven so far into madness that she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. And when that wasn't enough, she committed the ultimate taboo. She killed a human. Yeah, it was there was a black box next to her sprite. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I closed the game and rebooted it. Sorry. Holy shit. Anyway.
I tried to stop her, but by the time I thought to act, it was too late.
Knowing that Delora and Parfait were involved in the Great War makes it seem more real. But wasn't the Tenebrarum Bearer killed? How can the fairy tale curse continue to spread if she's dead?
I believe the Tenebrarum Bearer sacrificed the last bit of herself to continue powering the Tenebrarum.
All to ensure that the remaining witches could continue spreading the fairy tale curse. Is none of this ringing a bell for you? What are you talking about? She really did erase your memories. Erase? The witch who died, the Tenebrarum Bearer, was your mother, Princess Spacey. What? For some reason, I turned to look at Karma, who's one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. I grew up outside this kingdom, but even I knew of the terrible witch Hildur. Hildur. Sounds fancier. Like Viorica. Fritz William, or whatever the fuck his name is. It's normally Fitz, not Fritz, but I don't know. You expect me to believe any of this? Mother was She wasn't a witch. I would remember that. Well, you would if you had memories of the war, and the years before that. Under Hildir's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hildir was defeated. And that goes for the rest of us, too. We were slaves to Hildir. Or Hildir? I don't know what her name is. Hildir? Hildir? Dolores' eyes flickered a waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he's also a witch. He experienced Hildir's command over the witches firsthand as well. He's a witch, but he has a curse on him? That's interesting. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping it a secret, Princess. It's not as if I can use much magic anymore anyway. Not when I'm cursed. This is just another secret of many. It seems everyone is hiding something.
Everyone was freed after Hildir's reign. Witches, fairies, and humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved.
So, it's always been Ophelia that he truly loved? Was that the reason I never felt any love from him? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me.
No, dear, I don't think he
gave up on me! My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel a crack beneath the pressure and suddenly I want to cry. But Mother told me so many times not to cry. The king gave up on me. But Mother didn't. Mother would tell me this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason I trust him more than I trust Delora or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hildir and her daughter Spacey. They said you were the picture of elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. If Hildir was ice, then you most certainly are a warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then what does that make me? You're a witch as well, whether or not you were ever taught to use magic. On your upcoming birthday, you'll become the Tenebrarum bearer. Do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? Me, a witch? The king never said anything. And now I can't even ask him if this is the truth because I'm cursed. Why would you even curse me?
We didn't want a repeat of the tragedy, Spacey.
I sat on your shelves for almost a year, Princess. There was ice in your heart, and if you had inherited the Tenebrarum in that state, who knows what would have happened? I mean, we know this is truth, but why didn't you just tell me any of this? Delora and Parfait look at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king must have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut out everyone who ever tried to tell you about Hildir's true nature. That is probably true. Even now I'm having trouble believing that they're telling me the truth. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be somewhere else, but why are the witches looking for me? You're the heir to the Tenebrarum. No doubt the evil witches want you on their side so they can continue wreaking havoc in Angile with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for Spacey were not witches, though. They were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together. This must be part of Alcester's scheme to steal the throne. What are you talking about? The reason why Garland and I left the Order of Caldera was because the king didn't believe us about Alcester's coup.
How would he know of the princess's identity, though? Anyone who isn't a witch or a fairy or isn't cursed shouldn't be able to remember her.
But now we know that it's not just the witches looking for the princess, but the knights of the Order of Caldera as well. They definitely have a description of her from someone. Spacey? Karma reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder and I flinch back before standing up. I can't speak about this now. I want to be alone. Let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hildir, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me was the Tenebrarum bearer, a witch, the first witch to kill a human, the witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared, but what if she never did? I stay in my room for a long time, trying to process everything I've been told. Every time that comes up, I'm like, look at those eyes! Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it'll make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. Oh, hello. He's standing through the trees, staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Spacey. I prepare myself for a response, but find that no words come to mind. I've not spoken to Karma since we talked about Mother and witches, and any of the ease I felt with him before slipped away. Still, I came here on my own, and I can't just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Jurian and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Jurian is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did, too. When he looks so sad, it's so beautiful. You're like, oh, I just want to snuggle him. Why does he look so sad? Such a pretty face. Spacey, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It's not as if you owe that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've just been busy these last few days scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, Princess, that's because I'm bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now, I want to change because I don't want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you're being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy. Ourselves. Yes, an angry person holds resentment toward everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. That's why I can't complete my good deeds. Wrong. You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Spacey. Regardless of the motivation, you're trying to become a better person. That is what matters. Ugh, just love it when he talks. He's so pretty. Oh, step closer. A little bit closer. Closer. He takes a step towards me, then puts his hands on my shoulders and leans down until I can look right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It's never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Spacey? He's standing too close. What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to step away! Step away?! Oh, well, you know what, though? That's because... Remember, don't let him be too selfish. Scold him when necessary. So I'm assuming the stepping away is the... yeah, step away. Okay. I take a step away from him and Karma's hands fall from my shoulders. He sighs out. The story better be just as dramatic as mine. Thank you, Spacey. For what? For agreeing to listen. And for what you just did. Stepping away from him? Was I distracting him? Or maybe because it proves... If you think about it, like if we stood there and just stared at his gorgeous face, he might think like, you're standing, like I'm really close to you and like you're mesmerized by my curse, but we stepped away like, dude, personal space. And he's like, thanks for stepping away from me. Like it proves to him in a way that you're not interested in him just because of his curse. That if there's an interest, it has more to do than that. Because otherwise you'd be like, I see your logic game, but I still need the guide because my temptation is to be like, no, I'm going to stand closer to him. Curse or not, I'd get closer to him. Jesus. I'm not obviously like, because we're playing the game. Like, we're not swayed by his curse. It's just, you're fucking gorgeous. So. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince of a kingdom called Brigantia? Or Brigantia? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Like, are you a prince? Brigantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe? Oh my god, that's where you get karma from. I just realized, I'm like, so how do you, I'm like, C-K-A-R-M, karma. Claude. His name was Claude Idric Rinaldi Matthias Almonte. Jesus fucking Christ. That's why he's karma, because those are his initials. Kind of, sort of, Jesus. But because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname. At least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Claude Idric Karma? Prince Claude was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Claude was a selfish man who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. And then one day, he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. And then at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Oh, only weeks later, Prince Claude threw her away as one throws away an object, and broke the woman's heart. And she cursed him. It was a test. Ooh. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Claude found out too late. The witch said she would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse. Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Claude donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He has been gone for nearly a year now, and he is most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angeal seeking a way to break his curse. He'd heard of a young lady named Spacey who, on her 18th birthday, could dispel any curse. Karma... He looks so sad. I don't know how to comfort him. Claude? Oh, no, I want to keep calling him Karma! Like, Karma, Claude, turns a startling red as he stares at me, and for a few moments he doesn't speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is. But hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How is it that he's always able to make me feel this way? I'll call you by that name if it makes you so happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. More special? Yeah, everyone's gonna call him Karma, except for when you're in bed, then you're gonna just call out Claude. Just not the whole fucking name, because that would just take forever. Like, wait, what is it again? Like, it's really fucking long. At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realize that he's like me, a noble cursed for being selfish. But how do I help break his curse? Why can't he tell me? I'm going to assume it's kind of like the mermaid, it's the love thing. Like, somebody has to love you for who you are and not for your vanity and your beauty. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you think about it, if he goes out, all the women follow him around. No one's ever going to truly love him because all they see is the curse that's attracting them. But if Spacey which we are going to, because she's already kind of liking him, right? Fall in love with him for who he is, and it has nothing to do with the curse, and that would probably break it. I'm just guessing magic! As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Jurian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheath their swords. Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He likes her, and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland... You have to tell Jurian this. We say, yes, princess. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable, but if you never say anything to her, you'll never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything that I already have with her. And if you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Spacey is right. Hi, Claude. I like Karma better as a name, but to be honest with you. Karma, 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 chameleon. That makes so much more sense now. Yes, it does. Because it just dawned on me. Like, I know, I'm pretty sure I said it in Rods Are Out. Like, I was looking at a thing and someone's like, conspiracy. Like, he's basically created, like, as, like, an homage to, like, Culture Club's Karma Chameleon, right? And his name is Karma, and he's a chameleon. Oh my god! I forgot about the Karma Chameleon thing until just now. Like, I totally fucking forgot about it. Until I was literally just like, and all of a sudden Chameleon popped into my head, and I was like, because I don't know, I was like, Karma, like, I know he's the chameleon, I was like, Karma Chameleon, oh my god. And then it made me remember seeing that and went, duh. I should have, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me when we were getting the chameleon cupcake. Oh my god. I totally fucking forgot. It's really amazing when you forget something and then it clicks in your head and you're like, oh my god. Like you just discovered it for the first time, even though you knew about it like days ago. Oh my god. Oh my god. I need a minute. That's fucking amazing. It was amazing when I found out about it and I was like, you know, like, oh my god, I can't wait to see his oh my god. And now I just forgot. Oh my god. Oh, guys. Okay, anyway. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before, Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Jurian. What changed? If I mess this up... Let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Jurian is Spacey. How do you think she'd like to be confessed to? Oh, he's trying to like, how do you think she'd like to be confessed to? Because I need your help, because I'm fucking in love with her. Oh! Anyway, I frowned at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Jurian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes moved to Claude, but only fleetingly before they're once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland. Something that'll not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Claude's wearing an amused smile on his face, but he's looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush and have to look away. Spacey, you're tomato red again. It's adorable. I cross my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could do. Something simple, like when Karma kissed my hand, Garland kissing Jurian's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could do what Claude and I just did that one day in town. He can buy her some food and they can just... talk? Garland, have you ever just asked Jurian out for food? Not alone. Jurian is practical and she always eats at the tavern. She's also always on duty if she's available. I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now then, and tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. Wait, I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now then, and tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or I could give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I'm offended. I feel like I've did something like that for Jurian, she'd get embarrassed and punch me. It sounds like another lady that I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then when you're out and alone together, you can confess. And we'll make sure you have time to do it. I'll purposefully come late to practice tomorrow night, so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man! I'm sure it'll go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me expectantly with a mischievous grin. Now, Spacey, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course. We need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it plays out? I mutely shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason, I'm imagining myself in Jurian's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeliness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Spacey, you've been oddly out of it today. Claude reaches out a hand toward me, then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies, and we return to the Marchen. Days pass, and though I didn't spy on the conversation between Jurian and Garland, I noticed that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. I can only assume that his confession went well. Claude took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lie in bed, I'm restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Jurian and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace, of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from just standing outside of the Marchen. I can't just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I don't want Claude to get hurt because of me again. Eventually, I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual. When he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Spacey, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Oh, love. Woo! Love instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious. How could he know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, this is not about... Never mind. I'm asking if you'll be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword, and I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use a sword. I don't want you to have to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I'd be like, and what if I never break the curse and never become a princess again? Hello? Then I should probably know how to protect myself. You are. I don't want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Once again, he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction, and it's both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine. I'll train you. You won't learn it a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to train? He just wants to spend time with you. Already trying to get out of training. I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he's smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. I love that he started to call us love. Spacey's over here giggling. Moonlight spills through the trees, illuminating the forest with gentle light. Long minutes pass, and as I stand in the clearing, I begin to feel restless. It isn't like Claude to be late. Is he tending to his injury? I hear rustling in the leaves, and I turn immediately to see what the disturbance is. But the minute I do, I am pulled back by strong force and my world goes dark. Is he trying to attack us? Before I can scream, I hear a gentle voice in my ears. Lesson 1, Spacey. When apprehended by an enemy that you can't see, remain calm and use your 5 senses to judge how best to get the upper hand. His voice is coming from right behind me. Oh, it's actually kind of cute. He's like, hands over her eyes. Claude? I become aware that this is the closest he's ever been to me, with my back pressed to his chest like this. Panicking disorients the mind. That's why you must remain cool under any circumstance. Lupin taught us how to stay cool under, like, whatever, so I think it's, like, kind of fitting that he's teaching us the same thing. And he's got the Lupin voice. Lupin-esque voice. Not exactly the same, but sort of. Almost. Probably sounds exactly the same. It's slightly different in my head, but how could I not panic? Any normal person would panic. Still, I try to force myself to be calm. Lesson 2. Enemies will often let down their guard when they think they have the upper hand. Catch your opponent off guard by remaining calm and locating this weakness with your senses. I try to calm myself as Claude instructs, and I feel it is a bit easier, but only because I know it's Claude. Opening. I move as quickly as I can, stepping forward so that I can swing an elbow back at Claude's stomach. Before that happens, Claude's pulled me back to him, closing whatever distance I had put between us. In the process, he moves his hand from my eyes to my mouth. I know what the options are for the next choice. It's kind of funny. I can once again see the forest, but my words are muffled beneath his hand. Another thing to remember. You won't always be able to catch your enemy off guard by throwing punches or hits at them. Your opponent will usually be stronger than you, Spacey. Remember what I said about a weakness. Enemies will often let their guards down when they believe they're winning. Just like I have. An opening. A thought occurs to me as I glance around me and then down at Karma's bandaged hand. Karma's bandaged hand is over my mouth. Is this an opportunity or a trick? It wasn't his bandaged hand that was on your eyes when it said he moved it, so it's like, oh my god, game! Still. What will you do, princess? What kind of tactic would remove you from my grasp? Bite his hand, is what we're supposed to do. I'm gonna feel terrible about this, but I have to try. I try to shift my head to get enough space to bite down, and even Claude can't hold me completely still as I squirm. Eventually, the hand over my mouth moves just enough for me to open my mouth, but I falter. I can't bite the hand that I injured. Unable to do anything else, I mutely shake my head and I hear Claude groan. In one swift motion, he pushes me down to the ground, pinning my hands by my head as he frowns at me. Oh, sexy. You're not even going to try and find an opening. I glare at him. I'm not going to bite your hand. Bite my hand? I didn't even think of that. But you made it obvious. You put your hand over my mouth. I'd meant for you to try moving my hand. Pushing back a person's thumb usually causes their grip to loosen. How was I supposed to know that? Experience is the best means of practice, as they say. I have a complaint about that particular lesson, but I withhold it. Well, that was a pretty good attempt, love, but not good enough, I'm afraid. I wasn't expecting you to come at me like that. I was expecting sword practice. You weren't expecting a man to kidnap you in the alleyway, were you? I glare up at him, unable to say anything because he's right. He literally has us pinned to the ground with our hands above our head. Why do we not have a CG of him on top of us pinning us like this? Because that would be sexy as fuck. My mind has it. But I need the CG for, scientific research. You're oddly quiet. It's hard to find an opening to hurt you when you're not really my enemy. He doesn't move, but continues to stare at me. His face is closest to mine. Close enough to what exactly? Spacey, do you trust me to protect you? That's not the point. I need to be able to protect myself. Because you're planning on investigating the witches on your own? No, I want to be able to protect myself because I don't want you getting hurt protecting me. Claude leans down and I can feel his hair at my cheek. For a few moments, everything slows to a stop, and all I can hear is my heartbeat and his slow breathing. Once you set your mind to something, you don't let go, do you? Claude pulls away from me before I can respond, and he's standing again, offering me a hand. Let's get started with some sword work, then. A pleasant smile is back on his face. I can never tell what he's thinking at times like these. What are you really like, Claude?
Chapter 7?
Thorny Rose. When I return to the Martian later that night, my hands are scratched and I think I might have bruises on my arms. Claude wasn't joking when he said he wouldn't go easy on me. But he did compliment me more than once. Spacey, I've hit you quite a few times, and you haven't uttered a single complaint. Impressive. Crying is for the weak. Though everyone should be sleeping, I notice that the light's still on at the tavern. I see Jurian and Garland up at a table speaking with each other and laughing. If Claude had come back with me, he'd be happy to see this. You two are still up? They're not even surprised when they turn to face me. Good days like this are even better when stretched. I haven't been off duty in a long time. Did you both have a good time tonight? It was great. Garland knows these little places in town that I've never even heard of before. I notice that Jurian is more energetic than usual, her smile a little wider than normal. I wonder if she's drunk. She's not drunk. She's fucking in love. Well, okay, same difference. I'm gonna get another drink. Another drink? Garland leads toward me, his voice hushed. We already bought a replacement bottle when we were out today. We would never take anything for the Martian without money. Right. Is Jurian drunk? Oh, no, princess. Tipsy. It's like a buzz. Fades a lot quicker. Oh. Garland and I watch Jurian as she refills her glass at the bar. I have to thank you, princess. I would never have asked her out if you and Karma hadn't insisted on it. So you told her? Garland looks at me with a pleased smile. Aww. I'll take that as a yes. She didn't realize until much later. I just asked her for food and she thought that's all it was. Maybe Jurian really did need to be told bluntly. What happened? I, told her? And? We talked and remembered old times. He sounds like an old man. And I held her hand. I noticed Garland flinch ever so slightly, but he is smiling. He looks pleased with himself. And the night's not over yet, so... He trails off with a hopeful smile before he raises his eyebrows at me. I held her hand and... Maybe I'm gonna get lucky. Yeah! I don't need to know those details. What about you and Karma? What about us? I've asked him to train me. Train? Princess, you asked him to teach you how to use a sword? What's this? Our princess is gonna pick up a sword? Jurian returns to the table, but I'm too tired to properly join in the conversation. I should leave them to their conversation and head to bed. I need to get some rest if I want to start practicing at night. I excuse myself and head upstairs. I'd be like, yeah, I asked Karma to train me, but I'm exhausted and you guys are having fun, but... I'm startled awake by an excruciatingly bright light. It's momentary, and when it's over, I'm sitting in my bed, dazed and confused. My eyes burn. We got a good deed for helping Garland and Jurian hook up. My hand flies to the pendant around my neck where I see a second glass slipper with another piece. There's another piece! But when did I do another good deed? I grasp the necklace tightly in my hand as I make my way to the tavern. Garland got lucky. Woo! We got a piece! He got a piece and we got a piece! Everybody gets a piece! You get a piece, and you get a piece, and you get a piece, and Karma doesn't get anything. Like, yet. He'll get a piece later. We got a piece of the necklace, and Garland and Jurian got a piece of each other's. You know, everyone's doing their pre-morning chores when I get to the tavern area. I notice Karma glaring off into space, and then not far from him, the two knights. They haven't been up all night, have they? I make my way slowly over to them. Even back then, you were like some kind of shadow, weren't you? You don't have to hide it. It was obvious you were tailing me back then. It was only because I was worried about you. I realized you really didn't have to follow me, Lan, but I'm glad you did. Len. Like Lan. Yeah. Lan. Jurian. Oh, shush. Fritz used to call you that too. Lan is Garland's childhood nickname. He still gets embarrassed when I call him that. I see. So what are you two talking about? Oh, we were just reminiscing. I look at the two of them critically for a few moments, waiting for them to say something. They both exchange a glance before looking at me confused. Did you guys like fuck last night or like what happened? Like you gotta pick, so you're happy. Okay, so that's my good deed. Okay, I just want to make sure. Well, what? How did your date go last night? Carla makes a sound and turns beet red. Churion's eyebrows quirk and then she laughs. Oh, that! It went well. So well, in fact, that you can see the two of us are still very much enjoying each other's company. Churion is usually busy taking her rounds around the Marchen with a scowl on her face. She looks happier being here with Garland. More relaxed. You might even say that we're dating. Oh, look, he's all blushy red, like, oh my god, are we? Oh, this is what you wanted, and now you're like, I don't know how to deal with this. That's what happens. Isn't it funny how red he gets, Princess? You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... One more word, Lan, and I swear I'll punch you. The two of them are both blushing now, and the scene is oddly comical. Who knew that the two great knights of the Order of Caldera would be so easily undone? Both of you are amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me, suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remember that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact that they all served the king. I'd always thought Jurian and Garland were stoic and honorable, that their only reason for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here, though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. What? What you looking at? I just glanced at my bird is on the windowsill. He's just been playing on the windowsill for God knows how long. And I just looked over and he's standing with his neck spread as tall as he can. Why? He's looking at something what is that? He's got a tall skinny body. And he was just standing like that statue still. And I'm like, what is wrong? He's so fucking weird. My curiosity is piqued. As was my curiosity just now looking at the bird. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Oh, my father was a knight. He put his life on the line for this kingdom. Jurian's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had the medals to back it up. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurian's face, it's clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. Oh, childhood besties. Oh. Lan always got annoyed when I called him my brother. That's because he's been in love with you. Now I know why. Jurian wanted to follow her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because I wanted to follow Jurian. Jurian wanted to follow her father's footsteps, and I wanted to follow her. Dat ass, though. You know, it's what it is. I just like her. I love it when you're here, but I like it better when you walk away, too. Wait, that's not how that goes. Whatever. Spacey can't. Just, you know what, forget it. I don't have game, okay? I don't know how to pick up chicks. I don't know how to pick up anything. Fuck, I can't even pick up my laundry, okay? That's just... It's true. Because he wanted to watch over me. Because he wanted to watch me leave. I like it when you're here, but I love it when you walk away. I never knew you blushed so easily, Garland. Garland seems to blush even harder at that, and Jurian's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement begin to bubble up as I watch the two of them. But a cold voice cuts through the laughter and the atmosphere like a hot blade through ice. Karma. Could you keep it down over there? I turn and see that Claude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, we're sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma, I got another piece to my necklace. Another good deed. Claude turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. His voice is calm but flat and lacks any enthusiasm, and he didn't call me love. That felt lackluster. And oddly disappointing. A good deed. Congratulations, princess. You're close to breaking your curse. What did you get the good deed for? I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it was for helping Lan confess. I hear you and Karma went out of your way to help make it happen. That happened yesterday, though. Maybe the magic is waiting to see what became of Garland and I. Claude makes a dismissive hand gesture from his table, frowning. If you two insist on being so affectionate, you should get a room. Affectionate? Jurian's smile has faded away into a dangerous scowl. Where Garland looks confused, Jurian looks notably irritated. The shadow is still there on his face. Claude doesn't look okay at all. We're actually supposed to scold him, because then, remember, he's being a bitch. Stop being a bitch! Normally you'd be like, it's okay, honey, are you okay? But when he's being a bitch, you have to be like, stop it! He's like a bad dog. No! Rolled up newspaper. Smack him on the nose. Stop it! Bad dog. Bad karma. Bad prince in women's clothes. Scold him. Doesn't matter if something's bothering him. It isn't like him to be so rude. Irritation is no excuse for rudeness. Fine. I apologize. Happy? He looks at me for a few moments, his expression twisted into a defiant scowl, but it doesn't hold long. Moments later, his expression softens and he looks away, almost in shame. I'm sorry. This apology sounds real. But still, why do I feel so disappointed? Silence descends for a few moments before Claude abruptly stands up from his table. Maybe it's his birthday. Excuse me. I'm just looking at the next choice and it's talking about a gift for Karma. So I was like, maybe we're just going to buy him a gift or it's his birthday? I don't know. Claude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two knights. Or it's going to be his birthday and he's like, my birthday is in 3 fucking days. And if I don't break this curse, like, you know what I mean? Like the last petal falls. Maybe it's like you have to break it by a certain, like his birth, by like a certain time. Or it's stuck forever. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been running him too thin because of practice? I don't think it's you two. I got the feeling that Claude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange, distant. And recently he's getting more and more moody. He's getting more and more moody because his curse is probably going to set in like permanently or something. I'm curious. I'm just really curious. It's something about his curse. I mean, that's why. Princess? I look over at Anise, who's smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom is getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my mind off of things. The rest of the day goes by slowly. I'm stuck cleaning most of the day and then serving later. At one point, I speak with Delora about the knights that had attempted to kidnap me, and she tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. I still don't understand what their suspicions are, when Sir Alcester can't possibly know who I am. Doesn't she not remember? I thought, like, when they're like, do you know something? And she, like, walked away. She didn't want to tell him, like, Fritz remembers me. Like, I heard them saying this. She has not brought that up. Hello? Like, I'm sure she doesn't want to be like, so Fritz is freaking out about a missing princess. So is he cursed? How does he know about me still? My hands are sore by the end of the night, but I still feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless, too. Garland eventually leaves for patrol, while Jurian remains at a table looking deep in thought. I don't want to bother her, so I decide to try to find Claude. I go to his room, but I find the doors locked. Karma? Are we training tonight? No answer. My heart sinks. Is he not speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? For days, Claude stays in his room, only leaving when he had to be on patrol. A few times I saw Parfait go into his room, but she refuses to talk about what's bothering him. I feel so useless. When Claude didn't appear in the tavern or out on the town, he still had that terrible grimace on his face. Look, I really don't want to talk right now. If you're so frustrated with me, why not just ignore me? No, I'm not going to train tonight. I'm not in the right state of mind. I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me alone. Please. I am really beginning to worry about him. Today I'm in town running errands with Waltz for Parfait. It's been almost a week since Claude started acting so strangely, so I thought I needed to do something for him. I know he likes dresses, and he told me once that he likes roses, but I can't really find... Can I really find something that'll cheer him up? Perhaps he'd like some jewelry. Waltz, do you remember where that jewelry store Karma likes is? I don't go there very often, so unfortunately, no. Princess, is this a good deed? What you're doing right now. Did you think it would be a good deed? Good deeds need to be selfless, right? Generally, yes. I doubt this will count as selfless. I'm doing this to cheer Karma up. That sounds pretty selfless. But it's also so that he goes back to teaching me how to fight instead of sulking in his room. I've heard that Karma's been teaching you how to use a sword. Why do you want to learn how to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself, and it's not like I can use magic. At least sword fighting gives me an advantage. I'm sorry, Princess. I wish I could teach you magic, but it doesn't work when you're under a curse. But on your 18th birthday, when you become the Tenebrerum bearer, you'll be able to use magic. I'll instruct you if you want me to. That would be nice. Though that doesn't solve my current problem. What would cheer Claude up? Walt starts chuckling beside me, and I turn to look at him confused. Karma's important to you, isn't he? He's my partner, and he's helped me. He's also been patient with me and smiled even when I've said some really inconsiderate things to him. I'm glad, Princess, that he's your friend. My friend. Claude doesn't feel like a friend. He feels like something else. Oh, Princess, is this the one you were searching for? Waltz points to a peddler sporting different kinds of jewelry, and I instantly make my way toward it. There are all kinds of glittering things displayed, and for a few moments I feel myself drawn to everything. Then I notice the price tags. I barely have any money left from when the king gave me that pouch. I can't afford any of this. Maybe we should do our errands first, and then look for a gift. Maybe we'll find something as we look through the stores. But if I don't get Claude's gift today, I might not be able to give it to him tonight. Princess, we're supposed to run the errands first. You'd think, give him a gift! Waltz has a good point. We might find something while we do the errands, then we can get them out of the way. Besides, if it's not right for me to put Claude above everyone else. We spend a few hours gathering the supplies needed for the tavern, and only then do we start looking again for Claude's gift. Princess, I can hold more of those bags for you. I'm fine. I'm used to carrying a lot of bags. Does Karma make you carry them around? Princess, you should really tell him off. He does a lot of other things for me, but next time I think I will. So long as he gets out of his room sometime soon. I really hope he does. Hey, Princess. But now the problem is finding something that I like. What does Claude like? Princess! There's no reason for you to shout. Walt shakes his head at me, but he's smiling. Let me offer you a deal. A deal. If you help me set up one of my puppet shows, I'll pay you. You earn money from your puppet shows? I get tipped, so what do you say? I won't go easy on you, though. Yeah, I'll help you. Why do you seem so surprised? I was just thinking that everyone's right. You've really changed, Princess. Maybe having Karma as a partner really was a good idea. Being partners with Claude may have changed me for the better, but I doubt I've done the same for him. I'm sure Karma would be very happy that you're buying him a gift. Receiving gifts from admirers isn't the same as you getting him something. He receives gifts from admirers? For a few moments I think about the women who chased us in town a few weeks ago, and I feel a little unpleasant stab in my heart. Small things. A man will treat him to a dessert every so often. I saw a lot of it when we did errands together. I always make Karma accept those gifts without killing the man. Killing the man? It's dramatic, but it sounds like Karma. He punched Rumple when he asked him to marry him, joke or not. Karma wears his disguise to be convincing, but then gets angry when people fall for it. He's still very much a child. You know how he is. He doesn't like being flirted with. Waltz, do you know anything else about Karma's curse? His curse? He never really talks about it. Claude may be even more stubborn than me if he's not letting anyone help him with his curse. Waltz and I continue our search for a gift. Waltz tells me that I can look for something a bit more expensive and that he'll just put me to work on another day by helping him with his puppets. I return to the jewelry peddler we found earlier. Hello, madam, sir, what can I help you with today? Do you have any sort of rose-shaped jewelry here? The man refers me to a box full of many different rose-shaped earrings. He then shows me necklaces, and I realize belatedly that it's as if I'm searching for something from Miss Karma, not Claude. My eyes scan the glass, nearly in defeat, before a little rose catches my attention in the back of the display window. It has a chain connected to it, but it doesn't seem long enough to be a necklace. What's that one? That's our simple rose pendant, ma'am. Comes with a chain, but can also be pinned on the chest. The man takes it out of the display case so I can look at it. Perfect, because he can pin it. This is fancy, but not completely flashy. I feel a little click as I press my fingers to the pendant, and I realize that it can also open. Oh yes, you can also put something small inside of it. This is perfect. I look at the price tag, and after making sure that it's not too expensive, I pay the shopkeeper. Walt pays him the additional fee, and then we walk back toward the Marchand together. Aww. When we return to the Marchand, I go to my room to tuck the locket in a drawer before I head to the tavern to finish the rest of my chores. Just as I expected, Claude is not downstairs today either. Oh, you know what? I should have stopped when we came back. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to stop here. I should have stopped here when we came back, but I forgot what time it was. And then I'm like, shit. And then I was like, wait, hold on. Oh my God. Okay, so we're going to stop here. And then we'll all read this scene again in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.